What's going on, FSM? Boz here, and we just want to share with you a little bit of an update of what we're doing here at FSM to help keep you connected with your small groups, but also with God. We know that in this crazy time, there's not a lot of opportunity for us to gather anymore, considering that we are trying to practice social distancing. But just because we're doing that doesn't mean that we can't gather in some sort of capacity. And so starting next week, we're going to start sending out devotional videos for you. Afterwards, you're going to have an opportunity to gather digitally with your small group so that you break down what it is that you've learned and also just have that connection time that we're just not getting a lot of right now. During this unique season, we know that it's easy to feel like you might be alone, but just know you're not. Your small group leaders are there for you. I'm still here for you. Doug is still here for you. And just know that you are loved. And though we don't know what the next couple of weeks look like, just know that we are looking forward to the day that we can come back together. But until then, we want you to stay connected with us any way that we can make that possible for you.
We are excited about the opportunity to stay connected. I know there's a lot right now that feels really uncertain. And if you're like me, uncertainty is breeding ground for fear. I can't tell you how many times in my own life I have thought if I just knew what the next step was, I'd feel so much better about it. But the reality is we don't know what's coming next. And even though it's frustrating and it's confusing at times, the encouragement that we have is first and foremost, we have a God who is never caught by surprise. He knows exactly what's coming down the pipeline, but at the same time, He promises to meet us in our uncertainty, to meet us in our fear, and He promises to take care of us. On Sunday mornings, in our large group, we've been talking through the book of Luke and just seeing how Jesus has these unique encounters where He demonstrates how He is Lord, He is sovereign, He is in control. And as we were thinking about how best to just kind of wrestle with this idea of how we walk through the coronavirus and all the implications of that, I found myself in Luke 12, where Jesus is giving a word of encouragement to His disciples. And so what we see in Luke 12, starting in verse 22, you've probably heard this quoted before, but He tells His disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body, what you will put on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens, they neither sow nor reap. They have neither storehouse nor barn, and yet God feeds them. Of how much more value are you than birds? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his lifespan? If then you are not able to do as small a thing as that, why are you anxious about the rest?" And I just think about that. He goes on to talk about how God clothes the lilies of the valley, and that even Solomon in all his splendor was not arrayed as these things. We can look and see in creation that God takes care of the things that He loves. And how much more is that true of His people? Now, what's important to realize is Jesus was talking to His disciples. Now, we think of disciples, and sometimes we think about this large group of people that just kind of follow Jesus around the way that someone would follow around their favorite rock star. But no, these were people that Jesus had sent on mission. We saw in chapter 10 where Jesus had sent His disciples, at least 72 of those, out to be His evangelists, to be His missionaries. And He warned them. He said, some people will greet you warmly, some people will reject you. And no matter what happens, He called them to put their trust in God. And the same's true for us, right? We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know what the rest of the semester looks like, but we do know that we serve a God who has promised to take care of us because He loves us, which is why Paul can tell us in Philippians 4:12 that He will supply every need of yours according to His riches and glory. Now, the important thing about that is He doesn't say He'll give us everything that we want, but He's promised because He loves us as sons and daughters that He will give us absolutely everything that we need. And so what we need to do in this season is to trust God's promises, believe that He's working in all things for our good, and look for opportunities to take that message of hope to the people that we come in contact with and the people that we can engage with, whether it's in person or online.
Hey guys, it's me, Caleb from church, and we want to give you 3 challenges that you can do to stay active in your faith during this time. Number 1, reach out to people. Reach out to elderly people, people in your neighborhood, whether it's asking them if they need someone to pray for them or someone to run and get groceries for them. These are opportunities to share your faith in ways that are going to mean a lot to people. Number 2, reach out to your small group, stay engaged. keep the group chat alive, talk to your leaders. If you're able to offer encouragement to somebody, they're gonna wanna offer that encouragement back to you. And this time, we're gonna thrive off encouragement. Number 3 is start new routines. Your old routines are out the window. So maybe it's time for you to start reading your Bible more, get deeper into your quiet time, find specific people to pray for. All these things are awesome, and so we want to offer you resources. So if you guys will check into our Instagram daily, we're going to have all kinds of cool things to get you guys involved, and we want to make sure you guys stay connected.